Hey everybody, it's GauntletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today, as you can see behind me here, we've got the start of Commander Legends Dungeons & Dragons Battle for Baldur's Gate spoiler season. That is a mouthful of a set title, but it's an incredibly exciting set. It's a set where you get to draft a Commander deck, so it's taking my two favorite formats, shoving them together. You've got Commander and Draft all in one. You're going to get 3 20-card booster packs, take one card at a time, build your deck there, and play against 4 other people who have done the same. So super excited for this set. I didn't get to play the first Commander Legends set at my local game store because it was during the pandemic, so I'm super excited to play this one at my LGS. But even if you're just a Magic Arena player, there should be a little bit of exciting news here, because there is going to be a 250 card version of this set getting ported onto Arena 1 month after the set's launch in June. So this set comes out in June, but then we'll get an Arena version in July. So a lot of these cards will be coming to Arena. Probably all the cards that don't involve multiplayer, that aren't specifically like you need 2 or more opponents for them to work. Because as you all know, Magic Arena unfortunately does not have multiplayer. So as I said there, super excited for this format. My two favorite formats together in one. Very excited for this spoiler season. Anyways, with that whole spiel out of the way, let's just get into Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate spoiler season.
Volo, Iterant Scholar.
Volo's back.
We met Volo last time we were in D&D World for Magic. This is a little bit different. This is a 2/3 legendary creature human wizard for 2 and a blue. When Volo enters the battlefield, create Volo's Journal, a legendary creature artifact token with hexproof, and when you cast a creature spell, note one of its creature types that hasn't been noted for the artifact, so he's just jotting down creatures. And then you can draw a card for each creature type noted for target permanent you control. Name Volo's Journal.
Draw a million
Also,
cards.
the rulebook frame is that line of text at the bottom that says, choose a background. And so let's take a look at 2 backgrounds, and then we'll have Corey tell us what all of this means. So
looks like the partner mechanic for this set, but you partner with an enchantment instead.
1 and a white, and it says commander creatures you own have when this creature enters the battlefield and at the beginning of your upkeep. Each player may put 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature they control. For each opponent who does, you gain protection from that player until your next turn.
Nice.
Criminal Past is an enchantment for 2 and a black, and it says commander creatures you own have menace, and this creature gets +X/+0, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard.
Slam dunk in an aim death aspect.
Essentially what these are, it's a partner-like mechanic where if I have a legendary creature that can choose a background, and that card is my commander, then I can also have a legendary enchantment that is a background as my commander as well.
Okay, so it's straight up, it's partner with enchantment. Really funny flavorfully though, because you'd be like, I'm running Volo with the Criminal Past. But yeah, you need to have some kind of partner to make the draft format work, so you can still kind of choose your colors as you go.
Your story is who you are as a character.
Since in Commander, you're tied to your commander's color identity.
It's a way to bring that kind of character customization.
So now you pick a monocolored commander and a monocolored enchantment, and get whatever 2-color pair you want.
And, you know,
White Plume Adventurer here in both the main and extended versions. And you'll notice it says, when it enters the battlefield, you take the initiative, and then it's got some rider text if you've completed a dungeon, untap all creatures you control instead of just...
It's a pretty huge dungeon incentive for sure.
And then to know what the...
No idea what initiative is yet, though.
Helper card here. So when you take the initiative, you venture into the Undercity. So you venture into a specific dungeon, this dungeon here. So, Corey, what's going on with initiative?
Oh!
Right, so Dungeons & Dragons.
That's really neat. It's a mixture of the Monarch and the dungeon delving mechanic.
And
Baldur's Gate.
Oh my god, Baldur's Gate is going to be an expensive card for the name alone, but the mechanic is very powerful for a Gates deck. Maze's End is just keeps shooting up in price now as the set gets more spoilers.
It's a little horse.
It's a Gates Cabal coffers.
Obviously, you know, there's actually 9 gates in Baldur's Gate separating the different districts and the different levels of the city. And in this set, it's
9 gates in this set.
A lighter archetype.
There's like 25 or something total. Because there's the 10 for the guilds. There's like a few gates that aren't guild affiliated that are like all colors. Yeah, there's 20 something gates now. Circuitous Root's getting better as well.
It's really fun to draft.
Oh my god, yes, Circuitous Root can pull out a Baldur's Gate. That's very good.
Size limit.
I think Circuitous Root gets the biggest buff out of all of the Gates tribal cards. That and Maze's End, obviously. Oh, we get to see a ton of white cards. Cool. That elephant is absolutely adorable. If this card right here, if the Roving Harper is in the 1v1 version of this set that's going to Arena, that is cream of the crop draft common right there. What is that last card? Eurynicus's Vile Duplication? Oh shit, they printed a better clone.
Not shown here, but there's some dragon graveyard.
I am noticing something. I have seen the leaks from this set. I think Wizards just came out. They're like, you know what? We're just going to spoil everything that got leaked day one. And make sure that everybody who had a card that got leaked gets a new preview card instead. Which is very smart. But it makes a lot of sense because they're just like dumping a bunch of cards here. And I'm like, I think I've seen most of these in the leaks. And the fact that the amount of cards they're spoiling from each color is so imbalanced, I feel like that's what's going on here. Several points to Wizards for this. That is a really good way to do it, rather than just spoiling these later and having whoever they gave the previews to just be like, oh, it was leaked. Blue-white flicker, red-white go wide, and blue-black dungeon delving. Nice archetypes. I love the reprint of Wayfarer's Bauble at common in this set. I'm going to draft so many of them.
The artifacts that are in store for this set here. But I want
Wayfarer's Bauble is a fantastic mana ramp card for any non-green commander deck.
A Planeswalker.
It's a classic looking wizard. This looks like a really nice blue-white Spellslinger commander. Very cool. After all the blue-red Spellslinger commanders, it's nice to get a different color pair. Very expensive commander, but very powerful. Get a copy every time one of your creatures dies. Just exile it, get a token copy of it. It's like that flying demon from Theros Beyond Death, except this one makes them full-size copies, which is pretty cool. I really don't like running like 7 mana commanders, but this will be a cool card to draft and play around with. I really prefer like 3 to 5 mana commanders so that I get to play around with my commander every game. 7 mana commander, you might not get to play around with it every game because you could cast it on turn 7 and then it could just get blown up and then it's going to cost you 9 to play it again. So expensive commanders, sometimes you just don't ever get to do your thing. Oh.
Next up, let's meet Levon.
It's a copy that's an enchantment and loses all its other card types. So the copies you get back can't attack or block still? Okay, that's a very bad commander, never mind. It's like a way worse version of the black creature from Theros. Because it's so much more expensive.
Yeah, so...
Still going to be fun to draft around, still going to be cool, but...
This is a Dragonborn in Baldur's Gate.
Probably not worth it.
Are not super new, but
in just a regular constructed commander game. This Kiln Fiend commander over here. This could be a fun storm commander for just trying to kill people real early. Just commander damage somebody if you storm off. Cast a bunch of ritual spells. Ooh, that is going to be really nice in Dragon Tribal commander decks. Fun that it works with adventures as well. Not a ton of really good blue-red adventures. So I expect a lot more people to just be putting this inside their 5-color Dragon Tribal stuff and all that, rather than running this as a commander. Oh, this is the one on the artwork. They made Hardened Scales a commander? Miniature doubling season? Everybody loves doubling season.
Yeah, very
doubling season for just counters. And just one more. But that's still a very good commander for a counter deck. It should be a very good card just in the 99 of decks that have a lot of counters as well. I forgot what this card was called in the first Commander Legends set, but it's a reprint of that with a different name.
And that kind of kicks off.
Except now it's a background, so it works with the background mechanic. Prismatic Piper's the card.
All right, let's go lightning round because we've got a bunch more legends to get through.
Lightning round, let's go. Sacrifice up to 3 permanents. If there were 3 or more card types among them, each opponent loses 3, you gain 3, and you draw 3. That is a fun Golgari Sacrifice commander. When I have a bunch of different card types for it.
I think she shows up in
very cool. I like that a lot.
Which is one of our darker kind of horror.
And it's sacrificed up to 3 permanents.
That's where she kind of comes from.
So you can just tap her to sack something if you really want to sacrifice something. You don't get the benefit unless you sacrifice 3 permanents with 3 or more card types, though.
Along with her.
There are a lot of ways to build around that. Seems very cool. Ooh.
Wow, Raphael is another
Demon, Devil, Imp, and Tiefling Tribal Commanders finally out. That is super sweet. Really cool. Rakdos, Devils, and Demons Commander. Gives them all +1/+1 and lifelink. That's a huge effect. Plus a 5-mana 4/4 flyer by itself.
Too far into spoiling it, but
and spits out those devil tokens as your creatures are dying. This seems like a sweet build around Commander, not just for the draft format, but for Commander as a whole. 3 mana, 3/4 Vigilance. Whenever you cast an adventure, you can copy it and choose new targets for it. This seems like a much better build around adventure commander than the blue-red one, because green, white, and blue have more adventures and more better adventure build around cards like the well, Lucky Clover's colorless, but there's the Innkeeper that draws you a card whenever you cast an adventure. That would be huge with this guy.
Something like that on the coast. So
could be a fun adventure tribal deck. Might try that out. This one seems fine. We have a lot of aura and equipment kind of build around commanders already, so she's not super interesting.
Really great pairing. For their bravery
but a decent, solid aura build around commander. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, you may cast 1 target card of the other type from your graveyard. A spell cast from your graveyard this way would be put into your graveyard exile instead. Okay, so you still have to spend the mana cost on whatever you're casting from the graveyard. But still, being able to essentially give your entire graveyard flashback is pretty powerful. Fun Spellslinger commander. 6 mana 4/4 Death Touch lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, choose 1. Target opponent loses life equal to the amount of life they lost this turn, or you gain life equal to the amount of life you gained this turn. Another Orzhov life drain mechanic doing what it does best. Exsanguinate style nonsense, Sanguine Bond nonsense, Extort nonsense, all that good stuff. 4 mana 4/4 haste. You can activate abilities of other creatures you control as though those creatures had haste. I wish she were partially green, because hasting out a bunch of little 1-mana creatures that tap for 1 mana is hilarious every time. Whenever you next activate an ability this turn, by spending 4 or more mana to activate it, copy that ability. That is a really fun build-around commander. That's super weird.
Wizard represented here.
Just a commander all about having a bunch of activated abilities amongst your creatures, preferably ones that cost a bunch of mana to activate. Obvious inclusions would be like Training Grounds and stuff.
Great. Yeah.
I guess Training Grounds is actually kind of a nombo with her, because then you're going to spend less than the 4.
Yeah.
Very interesting commander. That's a really cool one. That'll be a fun build around. That's a really good point. Yeah, since she's the Invoker Adept, she works well with all the Invoker effects on the creatures. They're just really expensive activated abilities. That's super cool. Whoa, Lord of Murder coming in hot. 5 mana 4/4, as long as your life total is less than or equal to half your starting life total. It's indestructible. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and goad it. Wow. That is, that's pretty sick. That's going to be a really fun aristocrat-style Jund sacrifice commander. Commander creatures you don't have base power and toughness 10/10 and are giant.
One of the backgrounds we showed earlier.
That's hilarious.
You embrace power.
It's worth noting you can run these cards. You can run these cards in your main deck if you have a commander that doesn't care about backgrounds. Like if I want my Hans Eriksson to definitely not lose any fights, I could just make a Hans Eriksson permanently a 10/10. If I draw into that enchantment. But then Hans is always going to win the fights and kill whatever he brings out, but still cool. This one's going to be really good with commanders that care about creatures dying a lot.
The last
you can just turn that into an upside.
That I want to show off. We're not going to spend
the sacrifice mechanic.
For the main
oh, I bet these are all sweet because these are for the commander decks.
That will be shared on the 30th.
Looks like horror tribal.
These are the commanders helming those decks, so you can kind of get an
idea. Red-green deck about casting spells from exile. Blue-red dragons deck.
Human druid that creates
black-white cleric, rogue, warrior, wizard. Oh, it's a party tribal deck. It's going to be a big win condition.
Creature of lore. There is the Tarask.
You can make one of your creatures get +5/+5 indestructible and force all of the opposing creatures to block it, which means all of the rest of your creatures get through scot-free. And the one that you're making forced to be blocked isn't going to die either because it'll be indestructible.
never even dare to
Pretty
dream
sweet.
of taking
4 mana, 4/4 flying Myriad. Myriad means when you attack somebody, you get a copy attacking every other player. When they deal combat damage to the player, draw a card if they have more cards. Then create a treasure if they have more lands.
kind of your
Gain-
ultimate
Gain 3 life if they have more life. That is an incredible card.
sort of representation. So
Yeah, that card is bonkers.
maybe
So essentially, if you don't have the most cards in hand and don't have the most land, don't have the most life,
to come into Baldur's Gate.
if these get in unblocked, you're gonna draw a card, get a treasure, get 3 life,
This card looks incredibly powerful. First of all,
while hitting everybody for 4.
there are some reprints in this set, so we're going to flip this a little bit.
Reprints, come on.
Sovereign, which is an excellent multiplayer card, and also that gorgeous borderless art.
Oh yeah, that card is
Corey,
very
this is a
powerful.
reprint from Magic. Tell us
How good is this reprint? I've never seen the price.
That
That's a $20 card. Pretty good reprint. Yeah, that's a really fun, really cool card. Cool to see it back.
All right, Brandy. So illicit
5 mana, 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, turn any number of tapped non-token creatures face down as just 2/2 little morph horror creatures.
Gross bug thingy. He's
For double blue and X, tap X creatures and they don't untap.
3
Pretty interesting card.
opening cinematic or the trailer that they released. You'll know exactly.
Kind of a Ixodron variant, but this one has like a big adventure you can use on the first half as well. A weird card. Now we've got a big expensive fog, but if you're getting attacked by a lot of creatures, you get a lot of lands. These kind of cards seem like really, really situational to me. I'm probably not ever going to run this, but in the right situation, when somebody attacks you with their board full of saprolings or whatever they're doing, you're just going to live the dream. You're like, I'm going to put every land in my deck on board. Okay, Arcane Signet, super high pick and draft for sure. Great cheap ramp is what you want to be doing in Commander games, because when you've got 3 different opponents, you really want to make sure all your spells are pretty impactful, and the most impactful spells you can cast are going to be those that are higher on the curve, so you don't really want to run a million 2 mana 2/2s and 3 mana 3/3s like you would in draft. In a 4-player Commander game, you want to spend your first 3 turns just playing cards like Arcane Signet, Wayfinder's Bauble, so these are going to be super sweet picks in draft.
fixing your
Nice new command tower artwork.
Tell us, switch.
More fantastic pickups in draft, because again, those first few turns of the game just set up your mana rocks so you can get to your big, actually impactful spells. These are going to be awesome.
yeah, I've always
Also, they're beautiful artwork. I really like these artworks, so I'm definitely probably going to swap out my old artworks for these after I draft the set a bit. Cool alternate art frames for them too.
Pretty.
Where's Dockside Extortionist? Give me the Dockside Extortionist reprint.
Okay.
That is a very fun vehicle. Exile somebody's graveyard next turn, crew this thing, slap them, put a creature from their graveyard onto your battlefield for free. That is super fun. Wow, that is a ton of card draw depending on how big the creature you're attaching it to is.
Means for us,
You put this on some kind of unblockable wizard with like 3 or more power,
it is something
just be drowning in card advantage.
The week before pre-releases happen for Commander Legends Battle at Baldur's Gate.
Nice.
I said that whole thing.
3 weeks from pre-release.
Thank you, Corey, and thank you, Brandy, for sharing.
I'm very excited. I'm going to have a lot of fun playing this set and paper. Comes out on Arena in July. Looks like they're not talking at all about the Magic Arena version of the set today, but those were some cool spoilers. Lots of great Commander stuff. Super pumped for the set, ready to draft it. Not too much else to say. Just making sure they've wrapped everything up. Yep, that's everything. Not a ton to say there. It's pretty much what we expected to see. A bunch of cool Commander cards. The background mechanic is going to be like the partners with mechanic to make the draft format work. Pretty excited for that. I really like the amount of mana fixing, cheap mana ramp as well that they showed us in the format. I think that's really going to make this draft format shine. In 4-player, the fact that we have all of the diamonds back again. And we have Wayfarer's Bauble at common. We have Arcane Signet at uncommon. That stuff's going to be super important. I'm really excited for that. And then obviously a lot of the different commanders were pretty cool. There's no particular commander that like really stands out for me yet as something that I really want to build. But that's the fun of it being a draft format. I get to build whatever I end up with. So I think that's pretty much it for my thoughts right now. Pretty excited for the set altogether. The only thing that I'm concerned about or want to know more about is the Magic Arena version for the set that they've been talking about. But again, that's not going to come out till July. I just thought maybe we'd get a little information on it here, like they might do some kind of signifier to tell us which cards would be in the Arena version, but I guess they don't know yet. I don't know. That's the only thing a little sketchy about. We'll see how the Arena version of the set plays out, because a lot of these cards are very specifically designed for multiplayer. All of the cards with goad. There's cards that care about the number of opponents you have, the land cycle that they previewed a long time ago, and just a lot of the more political stuff that's like another player can get protection from you if they give you this, that they showed off today. So we'll see. I guess we'll see later on than with these paper spoilers here. But yeah, I'm super pumped for it. I'm all ready for that pre-release 3 weeks away at the LGS, and yeah, looks like a pretty exciting set. But that is going to end today's video. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to let the YouTube algorithm send you some more of these videos in your recommended feeds. I'll be back again very soon with some more limited, probably just a bunch of new Capenna drafts for a little while. We've got the big tournament number 2 for the month on May 28th, the qualifier weekend event that will be Streets of New Capenna sealed, and if I make it to day 2, Streets of New Capenna draft as well. Yeah, I'm just going to play whatever other draft formats they have rotating in and out of Arena. So once again, thank you all very much for watching. My chair's going to explode. And I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.